How's it going, everybody? My name is FaZe Crypto. Welcome to a brand new video. We're going to get right down to it. Electroneum. I would say the focus on mass adoption is a good game for Electroneum. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to post this out to anybody in the comment section. Definitely let me know any other mobile mining cryptocurrencies that are on your radar that we should be talking about. In the next video we make on Electroneum, we're going to be exploring the different the mobile mining opportunities that are going to be big in regards to this sort of space as it's been opening up. But right now, I think this video will serve as a decent argument why Electroneum is pretty much the only game in town as far as mobile mining goes, and I think that this isn't going to last as long as plenty of people think. So first thing on our tour is these tweets by Mr. John McCafe from about 12 hours ago. I know a lot of you have probably seen these, and he's been trying to basically sway public opinion to basically get people to pay attention to read in between the lines, and pretty much he's using this sort of information to counteract a lot of the negative publicity we've been seeing revolving around the bull versus bear market sort of mentality of the consumer, but smartphones that come with pre-installed Bitcoin wallets, and then of course right here, this is a very pivotal article as well, Samsung Galaxy S10 with cryptocurrency cold storage. So why would you think that cell phones are being made with the ability, essentially made for cryptocurrencies, for people to be using cryptocurrencies? Do you really, are you putting these two things together? And I think mobile mining definitely has a huge future, and it's not a question of if, it's a question of when. And I think Electroneum is, like I said, it's established itself. It's done a good job to jump over a lot of the hurdles and pass by much of the red tape, which is, I think, going to be serving Electroneum's favor, in particular when we see a lot of these different things, which hats off to Mr. McCafe for pointing out. I think that it's definitely interesting, and of course Androids, crypto wallet, soon browsers support crypto. In spite of market, crypto continues real growth. There's no stopping it. So when we talk about Electroneum, I mean, I know this is certainly not the time or place to try and make a clickbait video to make you guys fall in love with Electroneum. Obviously, maybe we're going to see the market cap go down to 99 billion. It would not surprise me at all. So I guess the question of our time is, are you the type of person who reads in between the lines, or are you the sort of person who sees a little bit of red, sees a couple billion getting knocked off the market cap, and maybe you're the type of person who sees $3,000 in the value of Bitcoin and thinks of it negatively, or perhaps you're somebody who sees the glass the other way, and you might be the type of person who sees this is the sale of a lifetime. I mean, obviously, I'm not going to sit here and try and preach cryptocurrency to you. I'm not trying to sell people on cryptocurrency. I'm aware that my audience is either you're a fan of cryptocurrency and you're probably watching this video. So for those of you out there who have that sort of mentality, hats off to you. You're in good company, because I definitely can speak from my own personal perspective, and realistically, that's the only thing that I can authoritatively comment on. And the way that I can view my own psychology at the moment, I can understand why people get cold feet, but then again, I think about the elite, the whales, the Moby Dicks. I think about this section of the cryptocurrency market, and I think about what I have in common with whales. Now, I'm not going to refer to myself as any kind of cryptocurrency whale. If anything, a big fish in a small pond, no pun intended. But I would say if I have anything in common with these whales, is that I want to buy my Bitcoin cheap, and I think that this is a psychological thing that goes all the way across the board for anybody who's who knows their ass and their elbow when it comes to the cryptocurrency game. People who want to get their Bitcoin cheap, and just like anything else. So the fact of the matter is that if the people who are aware of what's coming on down the line are probably filling up their bags with plenty of cheap $3,000 Bitcoins. If that's your forte, if that's your perspective. I mean, there's certainly, you know, I'm not going to sit here and try and talk about how that's either a good thing or a bad thing, because nobody knows what's going to happen in the future. For all we know, we could see the $1,000 Bitcoin come back. You know, I wouldn't mind seeing the $1,000 Bitcoin return one last time before the major bull run, the end all bull runs, which, you know, house of cards sort of mentality here. You have to think, what's the current paradigm doing? How stable even is the USD? How stable is the current paradigm? And when we really go, I mean, 4 years down the line, 8 years down the line, the fact of the matter is that there's a limited amount of Bitcoin out there. They're not making any new Bitcoin, and this is something that's, they could keep printing out new USD. That there's no problem there. They could print as much USD as much as they want. But the fact of the matter is, simple math. At a certain point in the world's history, everybody who will have a Bitcoin is going to have a Bitcoin, which is why that whole, I mean, for newsflash for anybody out there who's wondering what the idea, at least the spine of the principle behind digital gold is. But I mean, when I see things like this, Samsung, you know, big news right here. Samsung S10 will integrate cryptocurrency cold storage into the phone. Has Samsung ever made a strategic miscalculation? This user, John McCafe, says, I think not. Crypto is here to stay. It's taking over. Listen, market, you damn well better keep up. And I think that that is sort of a travesty, to say the least. I mean, obviously the market's where it is due to its own, it's doing its own thing. I mean, there's too many variables that go into all these things to try and blame it on any one in particular thing. But the fact of the matter is that it is a travesty to see all this money leaving the cryptocurrency space, because I think when the times were booming, when there was just money hand over fist and the market was just going up and up, I think that there was a lot of innovation. But I think that at the same time, there's some really smart people out there who are going to be innovating with cryptocurrency, whether there's money pumping into it or not. The fact of the matter is that blockchain, if you know what's good for you, blockchain speaks for itself, and blockchain's here to stay as well. So while we see these Samsung Galaxy S10, would they be integrating this cryptocurrency cold storage into their new phone? If they thought otherwise, if they didn't see some sort of future in the way for cryptocurrency, I mean, that's just one variable among many. Of course, you could cite any number of things, but it is always interesting to see how these different variables are coming together. In other news, Electroneum's been getting some pretty interesting press action on today's Gazette, talking about Electroneum among its favorite crypto watch list, which is definitely interesting publicity, especially in this market. Global Coin Report with its reasons to invest in Electroneum in 2019. Now, I haven't read any of these articles. I wouldn't waste my time, but I usually find it interesting just to, you know, glance over these headlines, and for the most part, unless it's something that I didn't already know, or unless one of you send me the article, I'm always interested in reading the articles when they're sent to me by fans. But I mean, still, even today's Gazette still sort of giving them that limelight, and I'm sure there's plenty of people who read or see these headlines as well, and perhaps feel some type of way. But future expectations on Electroneum, Redcoin, Ravencoin, again, sort of a strange article right there. Again, today's Gazette, and positive news pushes Electroneum price to 0.007. Interesting things all the way across the board. Like I said, especially in this market, you know, Electroneum price seeks higher ground following mining related announcements. You know, something very interesting in the water. I think Electroneum definitely does have a very interesting community that's built up around it. Obviously not at that 0.007 anymore, and it's interesting to see the amount of fluctuation that's happened just in the time it's taken me to record this little video for you guys. But it's definitely interesting to see a technology like Electroneum and what they aim to do, in particular with the people who've aligned themselves. When we see these current things happening with the different moves that the various different cell phone and essentially these different data plans and stuff they've been making so many interesting moves in terms with their relation to cryptocurrency. That's definitely interesting to see how the next generation of smartphones is going to leverage blockchain and all these different, and of course mobile mining, I would say, is definitely going to have a piece of that. Now, I'm not the YouTuber that's going to be on here and suddenly so sad because the market cap loses a couple billion. I'm not the person who is going to be making a video that's some sort of sob story just because there's a ton of these random clickbait articles. No pun intended, obviously, no offense intended for the this news outlet right here, the Recode, but now crypto suffers a black eye after a buzzy $130 million project crumbles. I don't care about that sort of stuff. I mean, personally, it's interesting. It's definitely something that's on my radar, but overall, the day-to-day things in cryptocurrency is no way to it's an irresponsible way to evaluate the current climate. When it comes down to it, when I see the important things about cryptocurrency is as follows. It's what is the major moves that are being made strategically by what players, and how are these things going to play into the interests of the people who are actually going to have the final say when it comes to all these things. And so when we're talking about all these different predictions for 2019, it's very important to keep into consideration that there's always going to be people who are coming from all sorts of what I call outdated models of thinking, just because they haven't been updating their perspective so often, which is why I think that it's great to have this community here where we're all able to sort of come together, and it's like a cryptocurrency think tank that we're able to develop on this side of the internet. And I think that it's something that will go a long way to service us as the sort of the new media really develops. And I think YouTube's going to be playing a huge role in the cryptocurrency, because when it comes down to it, people can't depend on these old models of gaining information. It requires reading in between the lines to a large extent, which is why, obviously, remember, this video is not advice or anything like that. It's just me just talking out of my ass, you could say, just for the whole sake of just giving my opinion. I'd recommend everybody else make YouTube channels as well, just because I think that that's the educated consumer who is able to evaluate the products. I think that that's something that needs to happen all the way across the board. When people don't like something, or when they do like something, they always need to speak up. And I think that's why cryptocurrency on Twitter, if you guys want to follow us on Twitter, it's at CryptoTuber, but it's always important to have these communities that are able to speak up and out and basically keep things on an even wavelength and all these different things, because there's so many different people who have cares in all different directions when it comes to cryptocurrency. But overall, now to wrap things up, I'm excited to upload this video. I think this is an interesting a lot of developments with Electroneum, especially I think that this video essay will be good for a lot of people to listen to, in particular when I'm sure people who are using the HODL method, which doesn't always work, by the way. It is a popular meme, but it's no real strategy. If you want to talk strategy, you have to listen to some experts, and it takes a lot of research to get your cards right. But it is possible. I mean, there's people making money even in this market, in particular with cryptocurrency, because there's a lot of opportunity on the day-to-day. That volatility goes both ways. So when it comes to Electroneum, we know mobile mining is going to be huge in the future. I mean, when I think about mobile mining, it's definitely interesting when you think about all the things that the internet's going to make possible right around the corner with the Internet of Things and all these different variables. So we know Electroneum has the money for marketing. We know Electroneum, the ICO and all these different things, and I think right now it's the name of the game with cryptocurrency is more survival. It's more the fact that the community is aware of Electroneum, and the fact of the matter is that I'd say survival is the name of the game, because if they can outlast, because when people talk about cryptocurrency, like these people who say that cryptocurrency is whatever in the future, it's not worth it, whatever, they don't take into consideration the fact that everybody on earth is in debt. about $86,000, 86 yeah, per person. Wow. Debt worldwide hits record 184 trillion, and that world debt clock is always ticking. I know it's sort of a funny meme on this channel, but it's serious stuff. I mean, the fact of the matter is, if you don't think that intangible goodies like Electroneum, the data, the computing power that's in everybody's back pocket isn't going to be put to some sort of use as the time tickers on, I mean, I would call that ignorance at some point. But I think there's a lot of good things happening. There's a lot of things that you need to be aware of. That's why in this day and age you need to do your own research. And that being said, obviously I'm going to give a shout out to a different YouTuber. So I'm just going to go right ahead and give it to this guy right here, Crypto NWO. I think that his video is sort of a sober look into the current state of cryptocurrency as well. Not being overly optimistic, but at the same time, he talks about a lot of the different facts. So you guys will find a link to his video down in the description below. But yeah, all that being said, I mean, it is interesting to see these sleeping giants getting their shit together, in the current time. And of course, I mean, all these different things are happening right while cryptocurrency is making these huge steps forward in the background. And whether or not you're a bull, you think that we're going to see the cryptocurrency bull run is going to take us to the moon this year or next year. I think I would still keep my confidences about the fact that I believe it has the potential to boom at any second. Now, whether or not we're going to see that perfect storm this year or next year, it's anybody's guess. I mean, I'm not going to try and sit here and pretend like I know, but all we can do is essentially look at who are the players behind these things, and what are their motives and who benefits as well. But yeah, for Electroneum, the number 63 position, as 2018 stands, now 7.37 as it currently stands. And but yeah, overall, in the general context of cryptocurrency, there's going to be people on both ends of the fence with optimism and pessimism. But it's important not to get distracted to a large extent. It's important to just keep a sober mentality when looking at these different things. But all that being said, I hope you guys have enjoyed this little piece of content for you, and we'll be continuing to service you guys with great cryptocurrency content. So make sure that you subscribe if you watched all the way to the end, and I will see you guys in the next video. Have a good one.